Hey, brothers and sisters in Christ and people of YouTube. Um, it's it's funny how petty people can be, like when they don't get what they want, and they don't take any accountability for their actions, and they just think they can get away with everything, and they live in the church. And I'm spotting it more and more wherever I go. Like I'll spot one narcissist, and then I'll see they're gravitating to other narcissists that just talk about stuff that just is irrelevant to, living your life. And they're almost like bots. A lot of them, they're like robots. They just go around talking a lot of crap and seeing how they can get people to admire them. And it's all very robotic once you get used to it. And it's really sad when you see it in places that you wouldn't expect it. Like, obviously there's the dating sites and there's the churches and all these places where you're just thinking, can't they leave me alone there at least? But no, there's nowhere's really safe from them, to be honest. God keeps showing me Deuteronomy chapter 17 for some reason, so I'm just going to read that again. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favouredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of thy gates which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon, or any of the host of heaven which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it is true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And ye shall come unto the priests of the Levites and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment. So the punishment for idolatry used to just be death. Like, no questions asked, just you've been doing it, so we've got a couple of witnesses, start throwing the rocks at them. And that's how much God hates people serving other gods, which you can't blame him for, because they never existed in the first place. Man just made them up. And that's why you have to be careful what you wrought with your hands and what you work with your hands. Like, I used to do a lot of hobby gaming, and I've thought about getting back into it, but I have to think about, I can, but I have to realise I can't worship these things either. So you have to sort of limit your energy on things that are not of God, but he can still bless those things if you are doing them for the right reasons. But yeah, this is basically narcissism in a nutshell. And they basically, they just serve other gods. They worship themselves, and these other gods, they don't even worship them. They see them as their tools. They're like, like when they do their black magic and their witchcraft, they consult these deities, and instead of giving them, like, they should even be humble against these deities because they outrank them, but they don't even, they see them as their toys, as things to use, just like they use people. But the trouble is, the devil hates people, so he's going to sell you a false salvation, and basically he'll sell this to the narcissist, saying you have to sacrifice some things to get what you want, which is similar to what God does, but the thing is, it's not blood sacrifice, it's not life for a life and all this stuff. But the way it's sold to the narcissist, they readily accept it, not knowing the consequences of their actions, because they're not deep thinkers. They don't think these things through. Like, they don't realise the punishments that are going to come back on them. Like, I've spoken to pagans before I was a Christian, and they were scared to even touch magic, a lot of them, because they say, look, it's not even worth it for a love spell, because if you do it for the wrong reasons, it'll come back on you to the power of 3, which is, they believe in the devil's rituals, which is what this is. But even they were scared to tread on that area, which is interesting, And here's another passage on sacrifices. Ezekiel chapter 46, verses 7 and 12. And he shall prepare a meat offering, an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs according to as his hand shall attain unto, and a hin of oil to an ephah. And when the prince shall enter, he shall go in by the way of the porch of the gate, and he shall go forth by the way thereof. But when the people of the land shall come before the Lord in the solemn feast, he that entereth in by the way of the north gate to worship shall go out by the way of the south gate, and he that entereth by the way of the south gate shall go forth by the way of the north gate. He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came in, but shall go forth over against it. And the prince in the midst of them, when they go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. And in the feast, and in the solemnities or something, I can't even pronounce that, I'm trying, but my mouth is just not working to that. The meat offering shall be an ephah to a bullock, and an ephah to a ram, and the lambs as he is able to give, and a hin of oil to an ephah. Now when the prince shall prepare a voluntary burnt offering or peace offerings voluntarily unto the Lord, one shall then open him the gate that looketh toward the east, and he shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings as he did on the Sabbath day. Then he shall go forth, and after his going forth one shall shut the gate. Now God's very precise in his rituals as well. Like, things have to be a certain way, and he doesn't take sacrifices or prayers from someone that is willfully sinning and going out of their way to destroy someone else. And even though this really did happen, like, people really did have to do these things, in today's covenant, you have to look at it like God expects the best out of you. He expects you to, like, sin no more. He wants you to strive not to sin. Now, nobody's perfect and nobody cannot sin but Jesus, because he was fully God and fully man. But it's the point of your heart posture. Are you doing it just because you know you can ask for forgiveness, or are you doing it just because you messed up? Like, you hit your thumb with a hammer, so you swore, or you got a bit angry. That's accidental. Like, the pain caused you to act out. But that's the thing with narcissists. They think that they're not going to get punished, that they're not going to get caught out by God. And God says, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. And when this person keeps crossing that line all the time, like repeatedly, and they don't think anything bad's going to happen to them, like, God's destroyed whole armies. He killed 185,000 of the Assyrians because they wanted to besiege Israel, and God had decided he'd had enough of that, and because the prophet was doing everything right before God, God's heart was like warmed up to them, and he forgave Israel for their sins because of their prophet. And that's how important one person holding the line can be. And that's why the devil hits you so hard, because you can be that one person that's repenting for the whole town. And just because of you, God stops them being destroyed. Like, God actually says somewhere in the Bible that when Israel was sinning, he says, I will not destroy them for my son David's sake, like for King David, because he made a covenant with David that Israel seed would last forever. So just one person was enough for God to change his heart posture. And when you're dealing with narcissists, they're in the church, they're drawn to it, like they're like moths to a light. They see your light and they want to suck it dry. They just want to absolutely consume that because they're energy vampires. And so you have to be very discerning with people nowadays. And since I've had all these dramas with the narcissist, I've learned quite quickly what a subtle insult is. That I can't just let things go where I'm like, was that an insult or wasn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it absolutely was. Like, straight away, if it seems a little bit like an insult, it's still an insult. Don't ever sweep the red flags under the rug. If your spirit's telling you something, it's important. And sometimes you'll be in a relationship with someone and the spirit will be telling you, this person's not right for you. And you want to just please God, so you're like, oh, I don't know what to do here. You do, your spirit just told you, it's like, this person's not right for you, so you got to sort it out. You got to be an adult, you got to go through the process. But the thing is, you can't just ignore it, especially when narcissists are concerned, because they can do a lot of damage in your life behind the scenes. And when you're being overly nice to this person and you're forgiving them and doing all the right things, ticking all the boxes, that's just making you look like more of a fool, because you're letting people know, hey, this person's trustworthy, so all the bad things they're telling you about me must be true. And if you're like me, where you're a little bit quiet and you're not much of a speaker, like I never used to speak till I was on this channel, so it's been a real blessing because it's taught me to be more confident. I'm sure my first video was absolute rubbish, and I probably will never go back and look at it for just that reason. But so if you cut these people off way back when you should have, they lose all the energy, they lose all your protection, to the point that if they do go to someone and say, hey, it's this and that, it's like, hang on a minute, didn't he cut you off a while back? Why was that? It's going to go along a lot better than if you stick around for years and this person's subtly destroying your reputation, and it's like, oh, well, she's just a really good person to put up with that guy because he really doesn't deserve her. And you've done nothing wrong, but because you're so silent, people just formulate their own opinions and run with the gossip. But they probably wouldn't have run with it if, when you seen that red flag, you addressed it. And if they try to shut you down and said, take no accountability, just pack your bag and go. That should have been what happened. That should have been what I did. And it's caused me a lot of pain because I didn't. This person never deserved me fully. And the funny thing was, they get the opinion, they think they know everything about you. But I saw the red flags early, and even though I swept them under the rug, I sort of closed my heart off to this person a lot. Like, I kept a lot of things to myself, especially when you tell them something in confidence and then they go to a party with you a few days later and you look around and you see people, the energy's different, like they're all sort of like sneering at you and laughing at you. And it's not hard to put two and two together. Hey, I told this person something in confidence and they've just gone and blabbed it to everyone. But then you choose to forgive them because you think, oh, maybe they're just going through a healing process. Maybe they're, their last relationship that they told you that was rubbish, that's the reason they're going through healing. That's why they've become an abuser themselves. It's a cycle of violence. No, this is just you pitying someone that doesn't deserve your pity, that is actually destroying your life because you're not addressing the root of the problem, which is this person is coming after you for no reason, and they're jealous of you and most likely hate you, which is a bitter pill to swallow when you're in a relationship with someone and they actually hate you. Like, you share a bed with that person. You've seen all these news clippings online over the years, I'm sure, where a wife's cut her husband's penis off, and because it's been so aggressive, it's just assumed that the husband did something wrong, like, you know, he just deserved that. It couldn't just be that the woman was spiteful and just wanted to do something nasty to him because she hated him. It couldn't be that. It would have to be the guy had to do something first, right? So I guess my point is, you don't want to get to that stage in your life where someone can harm you intentionally like that. And glory be to God that this hasn't happened to me, because this person, I believe now, is capable of anything, and is really an evil-spirited person. And, you know, the entities, they just hate your guts, eh? Like, I remember just looking around, I'm not going to say where, so that I can't get in trouble, but basically I was looking around a place where we were in a combined space, and she was staring right at me with this evil look on her face, like, I've got you now, I've got you now. And I just didn't want to waste the time on this person. I don't have any bad feelings for this person anymore, because I've realised they were just not quality, they were not of any value whatsoever. So I've forgiven them, I've forgiven myself, and I've moved on with my life. And they did so many evil things to me, but the thing is, there's no point dwelling on it. There's no point going, woe is me, they did all this stuff to me, because that's just going to keep you in the cycle of, they really hurt my feelings, I'm not going to be able to get over it. But I realised my worth as soon as I broke up with them. I realised, look, over the years, I've had quite a few girlfriends, and the ones I've had have never said a bad thing about me. They've always loved me to a fault, you know, and I've always had better people in my life than this person that I'm dealing with. And yeah, it's just like, straight away I knew, look, I know I can do a lot more as well. Like, I know I went to a gym for like 8 years straight, where I did the most physically grueling activities ever in my life, and nothing I'm doing now compares to what I used to do. Like, I need to really ramp it up to get back to what I used to be. But this person really underestimated me, you know, and on top of that, when I try and get back into fitness, when I was with this person, they were casting so many spells and doing so much witchcraft on you that simple body pump, I couldn't get through a whole class, because I'd be like, I'm really tired, it's just too hard, you know. And I'd done that class a million times. That specific class I'd done over the years many times, and it was really easy, but I kept telling myself I couldn't do it, because all this witchcraft and black magic was coming my way, trying to throw me off my game. And of course the narcissist as well was telling you can't do it. But I knew in my heart, I knew in my spirit I could do it, because I'd done it so many times before, and I'd bounced back from lack of fitness before. So I knew it was just a matter of discipline and getting back to it. So that's what I did, and I'm back to who I used to be before I met this person. And what that speaks to me is, I never needed this person in my life. They've just been a drain on my life. They've wasted my time, and I've had to lower myself down to their level just to be with them, instead of them coming up to my level of maturity, up to my level of commitment, my level of energy. Like, this person's going around telling everyone how great a worker they are, how great a cleaner they are, how great a this they are. And I look around at their work, and I think, mate, I'm not an expert cleaner, but I'm way better than this person. Like, I'm just like, this person's a filthy pig. And yeah, so don't believe everything you hear. You know, test the spirits, test the fruit, and yeah. But anyway, God bless all of you. Remember, Jesus loves you. I love you, and have a blessed day in Jesus' name.